Hear me?
Yes. Let's wait for a couple of minutes and then we can start so that everybody can join. And while we wait, if you want, you can say hello and from which university or from where are you joining so that we have something on the in the chat you can mention. So let's just a couple of minutes more. We should have had some music, so sorry for being so quiet. Next time we will have some music going on while we wait. Do we have more people coming in or joining? Okay, okay, let's wait. Then we start in 2 minutes.
More and more are joining. I will keep adding them.
All right.
Martha, I think you can start. We have no one in the waiting room, and 60 people joined already. So,
Right, great. All right, so let's start. Hello, everybody, and very warm welcome. It's really nice to see you all here today. My name is Namrata Sethi from Hagahelia University of Applied Sciences from Finland. We have spring, but it is still cloudy and 3 degrees only, but we are still surviving. And before we begin, quick question. Have you ever looked at something and thought, why is it like this and can it be better? That's the moment that's usually where change begins. So today is not about big theories or complicated concepts. It's actually going to be quite simple. How do you turn ideas into real impact? And how can you be part of that even as a student? So, some key concepts for today's webinar. We would be hearing a few words today with our wonderful speakers. We have 3 speakers lined up, and you would also hear some terms like intersectionality, which means people experience life differently and some face more barriers. Empowerment, giving people the ability to act. Impact, doing something that actually makes a difference. And that's it. We won't go into too much of jargon. And instead of explaining all this, that's why we have all the speakers. So we'll hear this from people who are actually doing it. And maybe in the chat, you can add uh, what made you join today or send an emoji. If you have any comments on this, what made you join today about today's webinar, or if you would like to send some emojis, so take a couple of minutes to do that. And while you do that, I would also like to remind you that this is a safe and respectful space, and feel free to share, reflect, or just listen, and whatever feels comfortable. Yes. And then, do we have any comments? All right. Maybe while you are still commenting, let's begin with our first speaker. So, our first speaker is Priyanka. Priyanka Banerjee works with organizations to help them build more inclusive environments, basically helping leaders understand people better and create better workspaces. She's worked globally and has been recognized for her impact in the Nordic tech space. And welcome, Priyanka. So happy to join you. The floor is all yours.
Yay. Hello, everyone. How is it going? How are you?
Well,
Put some emojis, show some love, write something on the chat. Hey, hello, 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 hello. So happy to be here. I'm super excited about today's session. I am seeing the chat. You're from so many different places. Really, really excited to be here. I am currently also joining from Finland. So, as Namrata said, same kind of weather. Looking forward to some warmth pretty soon. And before I go into introducing myself, maybe I want you to. I want to ask you to do something with me, like a quick exercise, just for a moment. Uh, think of the last great idea you had. You know, it could be when you were having a shower, or while you were on a walk, or in the middle of a lecture. Trust me, really good ideas come in the middle of a lecture when you're not paying attention. Think about that idea and hold on to it. So let's I'll give you 10 seconds to think about that. And now ask yourself, when you imagined this idea coming to life, who did you picture? Who did you picture using it? Who did you picture benefiting from it? Who did you picture being changed by it? Take a few seconds and think about that. And it might be that you didn't picture anybody. That's completely all right. The single question, who did you picture, is where I wanted to start the conversation today, because the answer, it shapes everything that comes after. You know, today we are talking about a lot of words that Namrata wrote here: entrepreneurship, intersectionality, empowerment, impact. And basically, everything is about us, about humans, about people. And today I'm going to talk about a journey, partially mine, but also journey of many other people that I met on, that I watched unfold, and about what it really takes for an idea to move from an idea to impact, and why today we are talking about inclusion as not just a nice to have element of entrepreneurship. And I will define those terms, so don't worry if you don't know what I mean. But I'll quickly then start with my introduction. My name is Priyanka Banerjee. I am a partner at a company called Day. We are a organizational transformation and people performance development company. So many words. I will explain in simple terms what we do. And I'll tell you a little bit more about my story, but really interested to hear from you. Maybe put in the chat how many of you here are interested in entrepreneurship? Like that, yes, I have an idea. I really want to do something with that idea. You can write like me or just raise your hands or show some emoji so I can see how many of you actually are here really looking towards your entrepreneurship journey. Me. Okay, so there are quite many of you who are looking to start your entrepreneurship journey or maybe already in your entrepreneurial journey. So let me start by telling you a quick story about me. I'm originally from India. I have been in Finland for now almost a decade. And I came here on a less than 24-hour notice. How did that happen? My background is in engineering. I'm an electronics engineer by background. I worked in the tech industry for a long time. And one very nice day, my manager, she just called me in her room and then she was like, Priyanka, we have a really urgent requirement. Can you go to our client location and help solve it? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you have to go to Finland. I'm like, okay. Tomorrow 10 a.m. is the flight. I was like, all right. It was, do I have time to decide? And he's like, yeah, you have about like 10 minutes because if you don't go, then we need someone else to go, etc. So 5 minutes later, I said yes, not knowing what that journey would entail, not knowing what I was putting myself into. And in less than 24 hours, I was here in Finland working with the tech companies. And I had worked with the Nordics before coming to Finland, and I knew quite a lot about the working environment, but not really experienced the working when you are here. And let's say working in the tech inspired me, that's a very nice way to put it, inspired me to become an entrepreneur. I did not know how, I didn't have the answer. I didn't really know what I would want to do, how I would want to do, but I really wanted organizations to understand how to really work with people coming from different backgrounds, how to build more inclusive organizations where people can feel safe, where people feel that they actually belong, where people just can be themselves and perform or like be their best selves. So that's how my journey into entrepreneurship began. I quit my stable tech job. I do not recommend doing that. For me, it worked, and it was something. Now, when I look back, I feel that it was a really good decision. And I started knocking doors. So basically, how do you even become an entrepreneur? There is no clear, you don't have a clear idea, you don't have a clear target audience, you don't have, how do you reach to your audience? And especially for me, I was in a country where I didn't speak the language. I was so new, I did not really know anybody. I had no network. So really starting from the ground, building networks, building communities. I became an entrepreneur. Down the line, I joined Day Day as one of the partners, which meant we merged two companies. And now, about 7+ years down the road, we have worked with over 200 companies across Nordics, Europe, and the world, developing their company cultures, their leadership, their team dynamics, and overall inclusion. So that's what we do. We help organizations uh, to make their humans or center the people that work in the organization, help them with their company culture, support their leadership, and at the end of the day, help the organization perform better, get the strategic results that they are looking forward to. But of course, in that 7 years of journey, it was a lot of ups and downs. But today I'm not here to talk about those ups and downs. That's a totally different talk. Maybe we can have some other time about experience of an immigrant women of color entrepreneur in a completely new country. That's a really interesting point of view as well. But today, what I wanted to bring in here was, because you are interested not just in entrepreneurship, you are here because you want to create impact. You are interested in doing in a way which is inclusive. So before we dive in further, let's slow down for a moment and define what these terminologies mean, because these days they get thrown out so much that help us to build a shared understanding on that first. So when we talk about terminologies, I will use mainly two terminologies: intersectionality, which Namrata already mentioned, but the base of it is diversity. Diversity, in very simple terms, just means differences that exist within a group of people. And we, on a very high level, categorize it into 3 different categories. So demographic diversity, which is like all the differences that most of us know, like, age, gender, your nationality, where you come from, what languages you speak, and all these differences that exist within a group. Then the next one is experiential diversity or experiential differences. And it means that all the life experiences that you have had, that creates how you navigate the world, that creates the reality, or that makes who you are. So for example, what kind of socioeconomic background you grew up in, or what kind of educational background you had, what kind of culture you grew up in, and so on. And then lastly, cognitive diversity. So cognitive diversity is like every way that our brain works differently. How do we make decisions? How do we solve problems? How do we think? How do we create? How do we innovate? And this also includes neurodiversity, which means people who have ADHD or on autism spectrum, and so on. So when we talk about diversity, basically, we don't mean that we want to tick boxes, age, gender, blah blah. We are not ticking boxes. We are making sure that we remember that we all are the intersections of these dimensions, right? We all have unique experiences when navigating the world, which means that when you become an entrepreneur, your experiences of navigating that space would be different. And this also means that your target audience that you want, that you have, which you want to cater to, also are not just a tick box exercise. They are intersectional beings. And what in practice, what that means, for example, you could have a young woman who is like a student, or a disabled founder who is from a different cultural background from where they live in, or a queer immigrant entrepreneur. Each one of them, they carry different identities, and those identities together shape the way they navigate opportunity, and also the way they're able to what kind of privileges they can have in the society. And intersectionality, when it comes to entrepreneurship, it means that we don't flatten those experiences, right? We listen for them, we see them, we recognize and acknowledge that, hey, we do have these differences and all these different experiences. So here is like a good test if you are looking for entrepreneurship and you already have an idea of what you're looking for, and you you're thinking about who your audience is. Here is a good test that I often share. You can imagine your, whatever it is, your service, your product, whatever, that when it is 2 to 3 years old, or if you are already doing it, then you can think 3 to 5 years old, who is it leaving behind, right? So if you cannot answer that question, you haven't really thought about it keeping inclusion in mind. And of course, you will say that, yeah, we cannot build for everyone. We need to have a target audience. Absolutely. But even when you have a target audience, many times in entrepreneurship, you might have these exercises where you design personas. And sometimes when you design personas, we miss a lot of uniqueness, a lot of intersectionality, a lot of dimensions that target audience also have, because not everything is just this and that, right? So think about that a little bit, like reflect on it when you start working on your dreams or on your solutions. And why is it important? Because you are entering, or you are already there in an entrepreneurial moment that is like, no, it's not like before. The AI is reshaping industries. Things are moving so fast. There is like a lot of challenges in the society, climate change. There is the demographic shift happening. There's so many geopolitical change, and there is like so much happening outside. But here's what I feel or come to believe, that the solutions that are now going to be impactful, they are not just going to be innovative, but they are going to be the one that embed inclusion as their design principle. And when I call it a design principle, this is the approach we take towards inclusion, that it's not a separate pillar. It's not something that happens on the sides, right? It's about how we embed it into each and everything that we do. And it's not a additional layer that you need to put. It is something that is going to help you with your strategy, with your business, with your people, and with impact, right? That's what we are here for, to create an impact. So a place, creating something where people feel that they can be themselves, where whatever product you create, for whoever target audience, they feel that they are able to interact with it in an inclusive way. And you are able to create a much better impact in the world than you would do if you weren't conscious about it. But how do you do it? And how is it like, how can you make it tangible, especially when you're in such a starting phase of your journey as a student? And I don't know, and this is like I'm so sorry if I'm assuming that you're on the beginning of the journey. But if you are on the beginning of the journey, and even if you are in the journey, there is no place, no time, no wrong time to start reflecting and start taking into account of what we could do better. So first thing, what you can start looking at is your own room, right? Auditing your own room. What does that mean? It means that when you start building something, whatever it's, you see who is in that conversation, whose voice is missing, and be honest. Because if everyone in your team just share the same background, you're from the same university, you're probably like a group of friends, there is nothing wrong with it. you need to acknowledge that if you have people from the same who are super homogeneous in a group of in your team, your ideas might be identical, you might not spot the risks that easily, and you might also miss certain perspectives when you start to build. So try to diversify that room as much as possible and do it consciously so that you're able to get as many perspectives as possible in already in that founding conversation and potentially in your founding team. And then when you have that discussion done, or like when you have that reflection done, you can also start reflecting on how can I build with and not just for, because this is it's a very important shift you can make. Instead of designing solutions and then testing it with your target user, we have data that says that if your team has even one person who represents the target audience that you are catering to, you have 158% more likelihood of understanding their needs and creating a better product or service for them. So, and that is something also important, because co-creation, it is a competitive advantage, but at the same time, it's also where we can use our privileges to give voice and platform to people who might not have that, who might not be able to have the same opportunities as you do. And then get curious and see what stories you're not hearing. So try to diversify the content you're sharing. So for example, you can listen to podcasts from different regions or different countries, or follow people who are doing very different things from your niche or what you are doing. Or then you can meet people in different departments in your university, or in just find that do this exercise about who are the 5 people you trust the most in your circle, in your, let's say, in your university right now, and see how diverse that group is. Can you actually make more connections so that you can learn about more perspectives, have different perspectives, because that is going to help you to also be aware and acknowledge your own spots that you might have missed. And when you become an entrepreneur, you have a certain kind of power, right? Not just now when you start building your team, when you start hiring, when you start making a product. You are making decision. You have a certain kind of power. So how do you want to use that power? How do you want that power to impact the world, impact the climate, impact our earth, impact the people around us, impact the society around us? So be conscious about that. And inclusion actually is all about being conscious and active. It is an active and conscious practice. So you cannot just do it once. You have to continuously being conscious and actively work towards it. And just remember that it's a step-by-step process. There is, you don't launch like a global movement of inclusion when you start your company or your service or product, whatever. But it's a good thing to remember that because you're on the beginning of the journey, if you are, then it's a really good time to start impacting or integrating inclusion as the design principle, because it will be much easier to integrate into the DNA of your ethics and values than doing it later on in the life cycle. And then I just want to leave you with this as the ending note, that most of what I learned about inclusion and using my own privileges or recognizing intersectionality, it came from being in rooms where I felt that I didn't really belong. And I found that there were many other people who felt the same way, who had the same stories. And you will hear some of those stories today as well. And I really feel that the world really don't need more entrepreneurs. It needs more entrepreneurs who can see what others don't see and who can build with people, not just for them. I'm not just building for you, just building with them, and who can take an idea and let it be shaped by voices that it wasn't originally written for. Because if we want to change the status quo, we cannot do it without including those voices. That's like literally in the term inclusion. So including those voices into what your beautiful idea has. And that is how ideas become impact, and it can change the status quo of the world that we live in. And you're at the beginning of this journey. You haven't formed any habits. The way you work now is going to set the pattern for the next 20 years. So here is my invitation for you. Build the company you wish had existed when you were figuring things out. So that is how my entrepreneurship journey began. I didn't really think ever about becoming an entrepreneur. Nobody in my family is an entrepreneur. But I wanted to work in a place where I felt that I am included, where I felt that I can be myself. And that helped me in creating what we are doing today. And at Day, our vision literally says that we want to create a world where our services are no longer needed. So that is the purpose, or why we created Day as well. So make the kind of impact that wouldn't have been possible without you being in that room. So take that unique perspective that you have, include different people, different perspectives, and create something that will shift the status quo of the world a little bit. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Priyanka. It was really very inspiring. And thank you for clarifying all these terms. And also, there are so many times which I was resonating with a lot of things, because my background also comes from entrepreneurship and, so much work that we are doing in entrepreneurship. So thanks a lot. But now we have time for question and answers, so Q&A. I see there is one question in the chat, but if you have more, please free to add on. So maybe we can go with that.
Yes.
From
What?
Naomi, we have one question. How could a student entrepreneur's voice get heard in the world? Usually, in a small developing project, their voice or ideas aren't heard or seen. Even though these ideas are impactful, especially students don't have the same resources to build their projects like bigger companies or entrepreneurs.
Really good question. And I can actually relate to that, because, as I said, when I became an entrepreneur, I really had no connections, no network. I didn't even speak the language. I didn't even know how to even set up a company. And what I did was just knock on a lot of doors, which means that I just went to different student events. It was even student events or just any event, and say, hey, do you have like 5 minutes of time in your program? Can I just say something? And they were like, who are you again? And I'm like, I have a really interesting thing to say. And of course, 80% of them say, like, come on, we don't have time. But there were 20% of them who said yes, who gave the platform. And that's how my journey began, to be on that platform, to share what I had to say. And I did a lot of these raising awareness work in the very beginning as a speaker, going to different events, doing a lot of pro bono stuff. And then one day, it's just randomly one of the person who was there in one of these talks that I did, they were like, they called me and they're like, hey, we really enjoyed what you were talking about, and we want to have you in our company and work for this. And that's just, and they were like, can you send me your business details? And I had no business, and it was I was like, I will send it to you very soon, but I'm very happy to do it. And that's how like things started and became. So I think for students as well, like, what, find out what are the places, what are the communities, what companies, what kind of way, what is relevant for you, for them to hear your idea in whatever way. You can go to hackathons, and so many, there are like so many spaces, and then just share it as much as possible. For me, another thing that worked was also building communities. So I was a part of the founding board of International Working Women of Finland, ry, which is an NGO here. We started with 10 people, and now it's a community of 12,000 people. So that really gave me the network. It helped me find people to collaborate with. And my approach was always like, let's not, there is a lot of competition, but how can I reframe it from a collaboration point of view? So, how can you find people who you can partner with, who you can collab with? And that's how I also found Day Day, and that's how the things changed and worked. But yeah, finding those channels, finding those people who you could collaborate with, and constantly showing up for what you believe and adapting it to whatever, if things are changing, then you also continue to adapt it. But yes, hope that answers your question.
Thank you. I would also, like you said, like never give up. Like, your idea always evolves, and
Yes.
you will find the people that will have trust in your idea.
Yes, it's, you have to like do it. And it seems like, for example, now I'm saying that we have worked with these many companies and blah blah, but it took 8 years or
Yeah.
7 years. So it's not like one day a one day thing, and you just have to continue doing it and adapting it to the market as well.
Thank you. There is one more question. What trends are driving intersectoral innovation over the next 5 to 10 years?
Oof, that's hard one. I feel these days like 5 to 10 years is a way too long time to think about. I am like seeing trends changing even like in days and weeks. So we have adapted, for example, internally, we have adapted it in a way that we just keep asking our clients and customers like what they are seeing and what how we adapt, which meant that we have ourselves have to adapt our own services quite a lot, almost every year, or almost every half a year even. So 5 to 10 years, hard to say, but like what we are seeing from my perspective, working with the companies that we are working, that there is a huge boom in the AI, of course. So a lot of stuff happening there. So how you can also leverage that into building more innovative solutions. And what we do, we say, and what you can also integrate into your work is that we do something that technology alone cannot do. So what is the innovation that you can do that technology alone cannot do? That would help. We have someone raising their
Yes.
hands.
Yes. Ilaria, please go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, hello. First of all, nice to meet you. I am Ilaria from Italy, and I have two questions actually, because I have a little thing on TikTok that is starting to become something more. Okay, and I wanted to ask for how long did you have to work by yourself before getting into a network or creating a group of people working with you? And how much is the country where you started your journey impacted your journey? Excuse me
Yeah.
for the who.
Yeah.
Okay, that's basically my
Okay.
questions.
Yeah. Okay. How long it took? I think like as I said, that the thing evolves quite a lot. So first I started as a solopreneur, so doing more of the building the awareness and building the market, because in here in Finland it was a very new topic at the time. I think there were only a few people doing it, so it also meant like creating an industry, and when you're creating an industry it always takes a little bit more time. So I became that, first did that, then I started collaborating with different partners, which meant that I'm not hiring anybody, but I'm working with other people who are established or trying to establish in the same industry. That opened up our network a little bit more, because now we had more people's network to do, and then we could do like work with different sectors. So I collaborated with someone who was working in the art industry, someone who was working in the education industry, someone who was working in the organizations, and so on and so forth. So that's how it looked like your team has grown. And maybe like that was maybe even in a few years, so maybe 2 years or something. And then the team grew a little bit more, because then you start having a bit more traction and you start building things, and we were bootstrapping everything, so there was like no, of course, in service industry, no investors or anything. So and then also leveraging the community that we were building, so taking support and promotions from there. But then it took about how many, 2020, like maybe like let's say 4 years at least, when after that we kind of grew. So when I started working with Day Day as a partner, then we merged, and then it was that we actually had a team and an office. So it took like maybe 5 years for me personally that we had all of that, and it's of course continuously changing still, that who we work with and how we work. So but this is not like a template for anyone who starts working now, because this is just one individual story, and there are so many things that plays a role in it. Country plays, yes, a role. At the same time, I feel that for me it was because I don't speak the language. It was more of a, like, there was more barriers, and because the industry did not exist. But for example, if you're working in a place where the industry already exists, best practices already exist, it could be much faster. If you already have networks, if you have the connections, it could be faster. And of course then luck always plays a role. So you that is something, of course, there. But then what I did was, in the first 2 years it was a lot of experimenting, which meant like just doing stuff, failing fast, going to many different events, connecting, networking, doing all that. That was like my hands-on period, that 2 years of full experimentation, as an engineer would do. So yeah, I hope that give you some insight, but then again, please take it with a grain of salt, because it's very unique and personal.
Yeah, so thank you so much for your answer. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Great. We have two questions before we move on to the next speaker.
Okay.
And the first one is, how have the different parts of your background, that is culturally, kind of overlapped and influenced your journey as an entrepreneur?
Mm-hmm. Uh, it very much did, I think. First of all, for me, like I said, that there were a lot of barriers, because yeah, they exist because you are different, and it's hard to trust something different. But it also gave an advantage that you have a perspective that someone else does not have. And my background also working, for example, being an engineer and working in the tech helped a lot, because I started working with the tech companies first. And it was that I could speak the same language, I could understand the challenges that they have. I was one of like in there, so it was easier for me to highlight those spots that they were missing. So definitely that helped. And it also it also influences you, because you are able to empathize more with people who might have similar challenges, or who might have similar backgrounds. And in the companies, I saw that when I was working with them, people were able to build very good connection with me, because they felt like there was something similar, because you always share something that the experiences are same kind of experiences that you might have. So I would definitely say that yes, there were barriers, but being or having a unique perspective, being different, is also absolutely an advantage. In most of the cases, it's like you need to be aware of it and communicate it to people, and be confident in it. It's like, I am very proud of who I am as a person. I mean, like, in terms of my background, like who I am culturally, and who I am as a human being in that way. So that also, the confidence comes out in when you are in front of people, and how you navigate the entrepreneurial world.
And very quickly, what are the
Yes.
mistakes most first-time intersectoral entrepreneurs make?
First time entrepreneurs make getting stuck to their idea. I think that's like, we call it the IKEA effect. Something that you build yourself, your brain has a bias to get stuck to it, and then you add more biases to it, like confirmation bias. So you try to just confirm your perspective by looking at studies or research or data to support that claim. So you don't look at anything else. So I think that's something, especially in the market where we are, where things are changing super fast, that being able to adapt would be a very good skill to have. All right. Hope I didn't take too much time, Namrata. I'm so
No,
sorry.
thank you. Thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure and very inspiring.
Thank you so much. Lovely
And
meeting you all. And
yes,
please
and
connect on LinkedIn. And if you have any more questions, just share them there, and I will be happy to answer.
yes, I was just going to say that if you, during the entire session, if you have any more questions from our speakers, please let us know. And without wasting more time, I will move on to our next guest speaker, Robert. Thank you for joining us. Robert works closely with communities, creating initiatives that support people in real, practical ways. And so his work is very grounded, turning ideas into actions at the community level. So, welcome, Robert, and the floor is all yours.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you just give me a thumbs up? Okay, I
Yes,
see.
yes.
Awesome, thank you. And I'm starting my timer. And I'm very sorry for joining a bit later. I will be talking about the campaign, and we are launching that campaign on Friday. So I'm already, as a good NGO person, I'm doing everything. I was driving some boxes to the post office, so very exciting at some times, and at some times not so exciting. So let me share my screen. I will be talking a little bit about my introduction was a little bit enigmatic, but I will be talking about our about two interventions which we can call entrepreneurial in nature and in fact. And I'm my background very quickly, shortly about me. I'm an LGBTI plus activist since the times of secondary school. More professionally, I started doing it since 2018. In 2020, I was on the founding. Was one of the founding member of the Rainbow Pride Bratislava, the first Pride in Slovakia, etc., etc. So a lot of stuff, and I'm ancient. But the important thing is my background is in NGOs. I'm an NGO worker, recently repackaged as social impact entrepreneur, and that's why I'm going to talk to you for a bit. I can't see you, so I'm talking to my screen, but I'm used to that because during COVID we did a lot of trainings online. So I will be talking about Rainbow Ribbon campaign, but before that, I'll show you. This is the map of Slovakia, and we are located in the east of it, so not in the capital. The organization is called Sapling. It was established in 2012, and I'm very bad at math, so I don't know. It was like 14 or 15 years ago, because how do you count that? But I think it was 14 years ago. And our general mission is to change Slovak society so that also LGBTI plus people can live a good life here. It's like very broad, but also helps us put everything what we are doing under the umbrella, because our main programs are education. We educate a lot of young people and youth workers, mainly with the support of the Erasmus Plus Youth in Action program. We organized the second oldest Pride festival, Košice Pride, and we have a community and counseling center, Prisma. And what I'm going to talk to you about very briefly is the cultural center Pong and our fundraising efforts. We are one of the largest LGBTFOS organizations in Slovakia, which is not that difficult because Slovakia is small and there are not that many organizations. And no, I don't want to burden you much with the history of Slovakia, but what you need to know right now is that our current government is very hostile toward LGBTI plus people and towards civil society in general, cutting funding. There is a research saying that over 2 years the whole sector lost somewhere around 16 million euro in grants and other forms of state support. And that's one of the reasons why we actually, we started the campaign. I will share some videos about the campaign. I hope you can hear the video, and if you cannot, there are the subtitles. And this idea came around COVID. While we were locked down, and it's I'm not a huge fan of the word innovation, because most of the things I'm doing are not technically innovative because someone else has been doing them somewhere else. But in a Slovak context, it is an innovative because no one has been doing it before. So how do I do that? Okay. So the innovation, technology, my friend. Start from there, from here. No, present. Okay, that's no. Okay, sorry. Well, let's have it like this. So why I'm talking about innovation is because we are not the first product-based fundraising campaign, and we are not the first to use a ribbon connected with a date as a fundraising tool, but we were the first to do it for the LGBTI plus people in Slovakia. So that therefore I can call myself a social innovator with social impact. And it's a very, the ribbon itself is a very small and simple gesture. And whereas most of our other activities are directed and focused for LGBTI plus people, this is actually targeted at general population who wants to support and show support to the queer people of Slovakia. And what better way of showing support than also with your money, because that's the second element of this campaign. you donate. The model is very simple. You donate an amount, you receive a ribbon, and it's expecting that you wear it on yourself. Therefore, bringing rainbow to the physical spaces, to the reality, I would call it, because that's one of the challenges in the current system and current society. Like, we are so much online, we have micro communities, and that's very important for people to live in there and find accepting spaces online. But also we need to bridge this gap between digital and tangible, not real, because also digital is real as well, but tangible and let's say digital. So this is our former president who wore a ribbon in support of the campaign. And the technology is also very, very simple. Like, currently we are entering the sixth year. The first year was completely online because of COVID. We were sending the ribbons out, and then in the second or third year we introduced the boxes to have them also physically present, because people who also want to see and donate, and they, although they trust online, sometimes they want to be like, they have like something physical, like look or be in physical presence of the ribbons. I just realized maybe you don't know what the ribbon is about, or Idaho bit about. It's the 17th. It's the celebration of the commemoration of the day when the World Health Organization has struck homosexuality out of the list of diseases in 1990, and we celebrate and we build a campaign around this, like the day on actually whole month of rainbow ribbon. So yes, there are three main elements. We raise public awareness because you have a ribbon, and it is a powerful symbol. People see rainbow, they have association already, because also we have quite a lot of anti-LGBTI plus propaganda. So people know this symbol. It's very recognizable, visible. And very important part is not just you support by wearing, but you support by donating, and these donations are then divided between 11 other organizations. So we are not doing it just for ourselves, but one of like part of Sapling's mission is to build an ecosystem, a rainbow ecosystem, because we cannot do everything, even though, despite me being a megalomaniac and I would love to do everything, I think I came to realize there are some physical limitations, and it's better when we have thriving ecosystem of various organizations, not just one or two. So that's why the whole campaign is built also on the idea of solidarity, where Sapling takes the majority of the workload with logistics, with processing the donations, with procuring the ribbons and packing them. And then the other organizations help with marketing. They share it in their networks, and then they get a share of the campaign's proceedings. The campaign has been growing steadily since the first year. Here are some numbers. A lot of numbers, a lot of text. Not a good slide, but what is important are the numbers in red. Is like we have been growing by approximately 30 to 40% every year. Also, unfortunately, we in 2022, and between these years, we had also a spike in donations, because we had a very tragic event in Slovakia, a terrorist shooting targeting two young queer people. And what we also, this is how the donation page looks like, and how the box looks like. That was also work in progress. And people can put cash in, or if they don't have cash, they can scan the QR code and donate, and then they take the ribbon. And actually, we don't. It's trust based. So these boxes are they are do I can do okay, yeah, I think that's no. Well, see, they're all around Slovakia. We have like something around 80 spaces, cultural spaces, cafes, where people can get them. This is like, I will not go quickly, but you can we have like a nice workflow, and there are various people supporting us. Oh yeah, here's the slide I was waiting for. We have spaces all over Slovakia where you can get the ribbons physically, and it's also an expression of those spaces that they support rights. Yeah, numbers. Influencer marketing is very important. This is the former ambassador, Dutch ambassador to Slovakia. You've seen our former president. Yeah, okay. There's another video, but I'll skip it because of time. If I find a way how to do it. Sorry. I don't see you, and I see. Okay. Just with questions. Okay. Okay. So yeah, and well, as I said, like about innovation, like I said, the word innovation, but every year we're thinking, okay, what else can we do with this small team? And speaking of team, you can while I'm talking, you can like maybe write a number, between 1 and 10 of how many people are actually working on the campaign every year. Like what's the team size? So every year we're also thinking about something like how to upgrade it. And I think 2 years ago we came with the idea of metallic pin, because originally the idea is that people donate one time, but then we introduced the concept of people donating regularly, and after second or third donation, they will receive a metallic pin. Yeah, this is and okay, no time for this. I'm sorry, but very important part in the past and still now is the support from the corporations or big companies, because they are apart from them having money, they're also like small universities, and if they propagate certain values within their workplaces, those values could have a higher chance of getting accepted by their employees, and that's actually what we want, like people like changing mind, changing hearts. But for the companies, whereas for general population, you have like a free donation. Like you give us 10 euro cents, we send you a ribbon. You give us 10 euro, we send a ribbon. For corporations, we have a more fixed prices. Yeah, that. Okay. So I'm a bit running out of time, but let's talk a little bit about challenges and what can you actually learn out of it, out of the campaign, is like planning. And the previous speaker was talking about like hands-on and failing fast, and that's also what we did. Like this is not our first, but we launched it in 2021, it was not our first product campaign. We have tested several so-called product campaigns when we have a product and we had a donation around it. So we know what might be the logistical challenges, like how much it might cost, etc., etc. Yeah, this is okay. There are challenges, like in general challenges, but our logistical challenges is, or actually, it's a good question, because we were able to bootstrap the campaign. We had some free funds laying around, and we were bootstrapping it. So that's also was and we started in small, and we started in online, and then it just grew and grew and grew. And the learning points we have, and that probably apply to everything, is time management. Like because of the other smaller campaigns, we knew, okay, we need to start very early with this. We had to find someone who makes the ribbon for us. This is not from China. It's locally made. It's locally sourced from Czech Republic. It's made from cotton. And then we were building on the materials. We had several design challenges with the cards, also with the ways of this is actually the older model where you don't see the pin is so-called naked. The newer model, and it was okay, but people kept losing the ribbons, and they were like. Losing it, and we were like, okay, what can we do about it? And our supplier of the ribbon said, oh yeah, he might be able to get us this thing that sticks and helps secure the ribbon in a place. And another innovation is like, okay, so we went from online to offline to companies, and another step was abroad. So 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I'm bad at math and remembering dates, we started cooperation with Prague Pride in Czech Republic, again, to test how does it make sense? Because in my mind is like Slovakia has 5 million inhabitants, and every year we send out like 6 to 10,000 ribbons. So if we go to Czechia, we just double the size, they will double the amount of ribbons used. If we go to Poland, that's 10 times, etc., etc. You know, like it's math. It's and it has been a success in Czech Republic. Not the president, but his wife wore the ribbon, and they have more influencers and better marketing in certain ways. But for us, no, it's an income. It's an extra income because we don't have to do the campaign. We just supply them ribbons with some an extra price. And this year we're also testing this concept with Poland. So we'll see how that goes. And next year we want to expand even more to Europe. And I'm already over time, so I'm very sorry I will not be talking about our other interesting project, which is a cultural space in Košice, but maybe some other time. And I'm sending the floor over to Nadia, right? You're holding the floor. And I
Me,
will
hi, it's me. Thank you so much for the very inspirational talk. It was really very powerful. And we already have one question in the chat. I can read that out to you. I'm doing a project
Yeah.
on senior
I can, yeah, you don't
co-housing.
have, or if you
Okay,
want to, or maybe you're reading it for the recording. Sorry,
yeah,
I'm.
no worries. All right. I can,
Mhm.
I'm doing a project on senior co-housing. Do you think senior co-housing project that target and include LGBT seniors is a wise project?
Stop reading my mind, because I have a friend who works in senior houses, and he came up with this idea several years ago, and I was like, I have enough on my plate. But as I'm getting older, I'm thinking about it more and more. I don't know which country, but I would say in general, yes, you have to check about the country, like how accepting it is. But unfortunately, LGBTI plus people, like the older generation, didn't have or doesn't have that much of social networks, and might get quite lonely as they age. And what is even happening is when they go in general senior care houses, they are sometimes even forced to go back into closets. So they have lived their lives openly, and now in the senior care home, they're like, nah, no one accepts them, or it's difficult with the acceptance. So definitely that is something that is viable and definitely to be explored. And yeah, in
Thank
Italy, I don't want. Yeah, I'm making an assumption, but it was many senior care homes in Slovakia run by the Catholic Church, and I'm not sure I would feel comfortable there. So yeah, I'm thinking like very fast forward thinking. I want to have a home, or have a place to live out my days with my cats, where I can be myself.
you.
I love the last question. Yeah, okay, but with Katarina, well, are the education we do, we do a lot of in the field of non-formal education, so out of So we do like week-long training courses on various topics, everything from project management and grant writing to theater of the oppressed or forum of the oppressed. So a lot of topics. In the past 2 years, haven't been doing much because of the government, but that's what we do, and it's for young people and for youth workers or people who want to work with young people. So okay, how can someone become an official activist in the? Oh yeah, it's a self-identification. I don't know. Like at some point, I started talking about myself. Like I'm an all I recognize. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like it's that you start doing stuff and you persevere, and after 5 years, after 3 years. Some usually older activists will start to recognize you because you stick around, and then I don't know. It's a lovely question, but I would say first step one, you want to become one. Second step two, you work until someone tells you you're an activist, or you send a press release and it gets cited with your name like as an activist, and you're like, oh yeah, we're activists. So oh yeah, very few. So I'm very sorry about the that they didn't include that much about cafe, but so as our fundraising landscape in Slovakia has been getting worse and worse, we had this wonderful idea to go into hospitality business, and fortune and also it coincided well at the same time there was a place that could have been bought which was ready to be taken over. It's in old town of Košice, and we secured funding from Social Bank, from Erste Group, which has a lot of social impact programs. I invite you to look them up because they do a lot of wonderful work in this field. And we opened a cafe bar cultural space, which is not is we straight friendly, queer friendly. We still haven't decided on the wording, and it's right. It's a completely different world because I have strong NGO background, and you're friends with people and you don't fire them, etc. Or it's difficult to fire them. And then you work with people who need to be more professional, more customer facing. So, beer has to be cold, and tables have to be clean, and it's a completely different world, and it's more brutal in terms of economics, I would say. Like with NGO is very flexible, but once you have a space, like a physical space, then the overhead is more. You cannot do a cafe from home. Whereas I can do my activity, like if I lost all the funding, I still can work from home. You cannot work in a cafe from home. And a very important lesson is to have, and we wouldn't have opened it without having a mentor, someone who walked us through the whole concept, the basic business planning with us, because the numbers are important, and that was very crucial. Thank you for the.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. And if you have more questions for Robert, please send them in and maybe we can forward those to you.
And I will send you my LinkedIn. I'm very bad at LinkedIn, but I will send my LinkedIn link in the chat. If you want to reach out, I usually reply between like 2 to 5 business days. So, oh no, I sent it. Okay. And thank you very much for the invitation and for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. All right. Now we move on to our third speaker, and that is Pooja. And I have to say, I'm very happy to invite her because I'm so glad that she could participate. And I met her personally 2 weeks ago when I was in Kosice. So, Pooja is a student like many of you, and she has recently started her own business which is about henna art. So, Pooja, the floor is all yours. So, maybe you can tell more about your business. Do we have Pooja here?
Yes, she's here with me. Sorry, I'm trying to share her presentation.
All right.
Sorry. Yeah. Can you see the presentation?
Yeah, yes, we can.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Pooja here. I'm going to speak about my entrepreneurial story. I will not say that still I became as entrepreneur, but I will for sure. It's a much small startup, and this is my agenda, that which is going to speak about my journey, why I became entrepreneur, my products, and some customers, which I was having a first customer, what I have learned, and my future plans and impact on the community. And now I will talk about my some power of communication. One of the biggest lesson I learned that when I came on the starting on 2022 in the Košice on Slovakia, I will be like, I was not knowing proper English. I didn't learn IELTS or other language, so I have little difficulties of speaking with the people, how I need to collaborate with them, need to talk with them. But I tried, and now I will not say that I am much better in my English, but I am good. At least someone can understand my wordings, what I am speaking, so they can speak with me perfectly. And even on my workplace and on my colleges, so people, my professor can understand me properly. And sorry, next is my overcoming nervousness. Yeah, on the starting I was having a nervous, something about this speaking. I thought, like, if I will say something, why people will think me as bad, like they will think, did I speak something wrong to them? I feel like a little scaredness, but now the scaredness is gone, the nervousness is gone. Today is my first meeting in front of you guys. These are like 70 people in front of me, and I am first like so much nervous, and now my nervous is going out. So I am so happy with that, to being as like I came in front of you guys, and my professor says me that if you wanted to do, yeah, for sure I will, because I want to do something for my future. For sure I need to take a one step. It's about my journey. I am from India. It's a small city in state, Haryana, and I came on 2022 Slovakia, Košice, as I'm studying on my final year on the technical university as in economics. And moving abroad is was my independent life. Even from my whole family on my background, no one went abroad. I was the first child in my whole family background, and I want to do something for them that they will be proud of me. And learning some financial management and disciplines and decision making, for sure. My parents are more happy on me that I'm taking my own decision by my own, and I doesn't want to depend on someone. And some experience beyond on the classrooms, yeah, like on the starting, and like I will be hesitate of to speaking some things, want to talk with my professor, so I will just mail them that, oh, no, I can't in front of the people or students, so I'll be little scaredness. But it was good. I have faced so many problems, and it, like some health issues also. Even last year I had some health issues, and I trusted on myself that I will heal with that, and I will forward, being forward again and again. So I will not be depending on someone, just only depending on myself. Why I became entrepreneur. I decided to become an entrepreneur, on my personal growth, and especially on my financial and family support. And like it's been a 4 years, and I have said to to Namrata also that it's been a 4 year. I have never asked one of my €1 from my parents. I'm the doing by my own, even though I'm sending as much I can to money to my parents, and they are so happy. Like some students are here, like they used to call their parents that I wanted this much money and I can't survive this and that. But I will not be like that. I will be like, I wanted to say them that you don't have to be worried. I will be taking care of them. And even if I have a plan, like even if I get married, I will take my parents with me. Why I have to be like, why they need to be alone? I am there so they can be with me. For sure, like I have.
Second, Pooja, I just want to say the slides are not moving. So at least we can see only the first slide.
Um, Ma'am, can you 1 second?
I can also share them, so you can
Yeah,
just
maybe if Najda can
focus
share, it's
on.
easier.
Yeah, should I do?
I think you can do it because here is
Great.
content.
Yeah. Just give me 2 seconds. And now you should perfectly see the slides, right?
Yeah.
Great.
Can you go to my
Yes.
little? Yeah, that's all.
This?
Yeah. I saw the some opportunities during my college timings. Like even my from my professors. Like now I'm getting the chances of to be doing some meetings like as I got it today. And before last year we had a Diwali festival in Košice. They have organized for us, and I got the invitation that if you can do it henna, and I was like, okay, I will for sure. And I saw the Slovak people were so happy that they wanted to make, like they want me to put for them. Even my school, my Beatifukova, which is our consultant for this Indian students, for the foreigner students, and she also came, but I think she wanted to do, but she didn't have much time. And I got so much opportunities. Now I have a one event on June 6th. There is called some Pestro Festival in the Košice, and for sure I'm going there. And now my next is, can you do it next? My product, which is this is my my small startup, which is name is Radhe. Here Indian people can understand what is called Radhe and what is the Rang. So now other people can't understand, so I will like explain little. Radhe is like our god, and Rang is a color. So I thought I love Radhe, like one I love the god. So according to that god, I just made one small name which is called Radhe. And my main focus on the henna and traditional outfit also, for like if here people wants me to buy some Indian attires or something, I will for sure I'll buy for them. And designing, I have a lots of designs like according to the festivals or some events or some parties. During to that we have a different designs. For sure I will. And even on the Diwali festival last year, people came to me and they was like, can I have this design? And I just put it for them, and they were so happy for that. And like some first, it was my first experience with the customer, like how, yeah, in India I have for sure, but here it was my first, like how people are collaborating with me. And and what is that, how these guys are like talking to me nicely, and they are asking to me how long I have to be like this. So I have to explain each of them because they doesn't know. And small beginning, it was my like a, I was in the home, I got a chicken pox few months before, like on December. And I was like more like sickness on that time. So I was like thinking, what should I do? I have to be thinking of my future. So I thought of to doing this because I have already experience in the Diwali festivals. This photo which you can see on my the display, which is the Diwali festival picture, and I have clicked there these photos. I have some skills of to putting the henna and communication with the peoples, because they need to be freely with me. They should not hesitate or something. And moving, continuing, and growing towards my dream, I think it should be a good. Can you go to next? What I have learned from the my school, from my university, I have learned like time management is so much precious for us. Like we have to be on the time everywhere, wherever you go. You should not be that as late. And communication and and handling with customer, it's so much big important part of us, especially for me, because for me it's main is customer. If I doesn't treat them well, they will not come to me again. So that is more part. And financial responsibility, everything is mine, not from someone. I'm the first, like, no, I'm not gonna to take another partner. I'm the first and last partner of my startup, and this is my dream. And like I came here, I doesn't know that I will be thinking of to doing a small startup, but I have started, so now I'm happy of to doing this. So let's see, finger crossed, like how what is going to be happen on the future. um yeah, this is, yeah, expanding my rather than firstly my main focus on the Košice, and then I'll move forwards to other cities, and it can be other countries also later, but now mostly focus on the Košice. And participating in some culture and international events. For if I got some events, and I will go there for sure, like they will collaborate with the other peoples, they will talk about me, and if they want me, they will contact me for in the future. And it's my own brand, not having any someone ideas, just only mine. And it's like this business which I have started, it's little a side business, but main focus, as I am studying, what I'm gonna do with after doing studies. I can't think of to doing only my own business. Yeah, I can. I will study. I am studying, so I will do the. I will search a job. I will get a job, some good job, but I will have some side business. What if in the future we doesn't know what is going to be happen in the future. So if in future something happens to my workplace, so I have little side business, so where incomes comes to me. So I should not be a stopping, I should just be going forwards to my futures. What is that, impact of my community, promoting Indian culture through art. So it's like here people knows Indians but doesn't knows the Indian cultures, how we are having. We have lots of cultures, we have lots of festivals. Yeah, slowly we are in the Bratislava. I have seen so much, like they are organizing some Indian events, but not in Košice. We have something, but in future for sure it will come here. And creating some experience with some clients, and starting my own things, and helping for my financial things for my parents. So that will, I am so much happy, like I'm the alone, like yeah, my brother is there, but he's small, so I doesn't want to give any pressure to him. I'm enough to my parents, and they are also happy, so it's good. Yeah, last one is my small startup. So, which is, I'm so much glad, like, okay, I for sure my business will go up. And if you have any contacts, you can call me. Okay, that's all for my side. And thank you so much. Here is my Instagram, which you can find my business account, and here is my call phone number. If someone is from Košice, you can contact me. And if you wanted to by email, you can contact by email. Thank
Thank
you
you so
so much
much,
and
Pooja. You were
giving
so
me for this
amazing.
this opportunity. I am so much happy that being as a part of this meeting, because I doesn't have this before, and now my nervousness is going out.
You were amazing. And it's so nice. I'm so happy we could meet a couple of weeks back.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like, if you can see the chat, everybody is so inspired by you and they are so happy. And, like you said, like the first step is so important.
Yes.
Great. And
Thank
now we are open for any comments or questions for Pooja. So even if you want to say something to her, that'll be great. Open your mics and, just share something. Or if you have any questions, please do.
My name is Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm speaking from Italy, Genova. I have just seen Pooja's story. As a student, as an immigrant, I am Italo-Kenyan. I'm from Kenya and Italian at the same time. Pooja's story is very beautiful because it is very inspiring. Watching a young person that is very focused, promoting her culture, adapting to her new host country by learning the language so that she can integrate her diversity in terms of cultures into this beautiful country that is hosting her. I'm really proud of you as a woman, and I know your parents are very proud of you, because when you see a young person that has the mentality of taking care of their parents, it means that those parents really invested in that child in terms of culture. So you're really, really is inspiring. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
More comments or questions? Please, Ilaria.
Okay. Hi, Pooja. I wanted to ask if your products are also nickel free, or they can also be used by people with allergies, like skin
No,
allergies.
everything is like from India. My parents, they are putting parcel from India, and everything comes from that. Like we have a henna tree. So by making a powder of that, while after drying, while making a powder of that, my parents are putting as courier, and I will make as here the quantity, the henna things which I can put to the person, so it doesn't react to anyone.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
and
very
it stays
amazing.
so long. Yeah, if you see your hands, they like continuously, you will focus on your hands every time. You will be like, oh, I want to be just seeing always like that.
Okay. No, I'm asking this because I am a person that loves tattoos and loves this kind of body art, but has a big nickel allergy. So I'm asking that
Yeah,
because
yeah. Once for me, one customer asked me, but it doesn't
okay,
lead to any allergies. Everything
okay,
is like no with chemicals. Everything is pure.
okay. Thank you so much, and I hope the best for your project. It
Yeah,
it
thank you
looks
so much.
fantastic.
I would like to share something. I am the lady who wrote about the co-housing, the co-housing project with a dream to include LGTB as well. Because in Italy, I don't think we have right now senior houses where that specifies that they welcome LGTB, everybody else, and LGBTQ as well. What would you advise about a project like this?
Is it?
It's me again. Hello.
Hello.
Maybe I don't know if you have or what's your activist background, but I would probably talk to people who run houses, senior care houses, to get the numbers and the economy and the business plan in order, and then look for funding, and then invite, or along the way invite some queer activists to help you with setting up the services to make them as inclusive as possible. But if you're like very interested, I don't want to take up the spaces. Just write to me a message. I'll drop you my email, and we can talk about it separately. That's also fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for a lovely speakers. Thank you. It has been such an inspiring session. And again, just a reminder, if you still have more questions, connect. We have everybody's LinkedIn and Pooja's contact. So it's been such a great exchange and so inspiring. So thank you again, Pooja. And we move on to our next activity. We have a very small, short activity for all of you. And that is that we would be sharing a Miro link on the chat. And that Miro link has a password. So maybe Najda, if we can go to the next slide with the password. So if you want, you can even scan with your phones on the QR code. And the password is change makers so that you get access to the Miro link. And if you want to copy paste, change makers is on the chat as well. So it is very quick. And it's a very small activity that we are going to do. I promise you, is going to be fun. All right, this is how it looks. We see people are joining. Yeah. But maybe this will give you some ideas, to make it fun. So as you can see on the screen, also we have a starting point and then we go towards the right. If you how you could actually pick up an emoji and drag it down or copy paste of how you're feeling today. And you can add your emoji stickers here. Yes. And if there are no emojis, you can find your own emojis and add them. So be creative, however you want it to be. That is great. Go creative if you want to. No worries. And maybe if we move forward, if you have already done this, it is time for your ideas and reflection. So maybe you could write one word or a sentence of what inspired you most today. So you can just drag one sticky note. There's a sticky stack, and you can write anything on that, any word or a line which comes to you, which was like what inspired you most today. About anything that during the talks inspired you, or a feeling, anything. And since there are very few people, and if you do not have access to Miro, you can also write that in the chat. Great. No worries if you do not have access on phone or like Miro, no worries. You can add it in the chat as well. And then you can move on to the second question. Where do you see an opportunity to create impact? And then we go to what could be a first small step. And while you're doing that, once you all are done, if you like somebody's answer, maybe put a star. So on the right hand side, there are stars. So maybe drag a star and put a star if you agree with somebody else's comments. This is the time we should have had some music playing in the background. High energy.
We'll definitely add this next time.
Yes. I'm loving the comments also. Keep them coming. If you do not have access to Miro, don't worry. You can put them on the comments as well. There's a comment. Could we do a little question and debate or get to know some users in chat? For sure. If you want, introduce yourselves. Consistency. Building innovation solutions. green transition, inclusion, belief, opportunity. I see in people's enthusiasm. Great. There's a question, what inspired you to make this webinar to share a platform for speakers or teach others that they can have an impact? I have my colleagues over here who are from the same group, if they would like to answer. Anybody?
So I'm not sure if you can hear me because one of my earphones is not working anymore.
I can.
But really, perfect. Thank you so much. So this webinar series, it's a series. We also had social empowerment, we had female empowerment, and today we can share something about intersectional empowerment. And this series is called Become Change Makers. So within this title, maybe it's already informing you a little bit about why we want to do this webinar and those series so that you can really be the change, become the change, be empowered, that small steps are already like the first step to change something, to have an impact, that you can learn from people who already tried those risky path to become entrepreneurs, and you can really be empowered to have this journey for yourself. I hope, Naomi, this is a little bit explaining why we wanted to do this webinar for you.
Yeah. And also, I feel like we wanted to do a webinar, like adding to what Najda said, and she put it so well. We wanted to kind of make it like a low barrier because often, people think that entrepreneurship has to be something super innovative and also which came in like Robert's innovation. I think, it is too hyped up. And you need to be, there are different kinds of entrepreneurs, and you can be social entrepreneurs and make an impact and make profit as well. And unless and until you start your entrepreneurial journey, you never know. So, if you need to, you learn by doing. It is such a skill that you actually, learn by doing. And this is something just we just wanted to share with the speakers who can share their journey. And like there are many of them have said that it's not the first time that you actually get successful. And there was like IKEA effect in over here. We also say learn to kill your darlings, because you need to like not get so emotionally attached with your ideas. But I think it's like we just wanted to share like how there has been successful stories. And unless and until you do it, you do not learn, and learn to love the problem more than the solution, and what kind of impact you will be able to make. Yeah, I meant learn to kill your darlings in terms of the idea.
No,
Robert.
I'm really I come with the ideas to the room and people are very looking like, okay, that's another of his ideas. And then we talk for half an hour and they're like, okay, yeah, that is not a good idea.
Yes, but unless and until you test an idea, you will never know. So, it's always good to test something, but if does not work, then you should move on and you should innovate. Ilaria, I'm learning Italian. Ciao, come stai?
Bene, tu come stai?
Bene, bene. I'm very, I would say A 1.2, but I'm trying.
Okay. And are you doing it online or in person?
Online mostly.
Oh, I see.
And Duolingo and on my own. And I try to talk with every Italian I meet. And I'm like, parlo con me.
Okay, Duolingo is not the best.
I
It's good
know, I know.
for learning vocabulary, but not for the language.
Yeah.
But I'm very glad you're learning my language.
Grazie.
Prego.
Yeah, sure, Naomi, you can speak. No worries. Don't ask. Just you can open the mic and you can speak if you want to.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, thank you very much for this very interesting webinar. It was very inspiring. So I just have two questions to just fill in the silence a little bit. Um, Firstly, I wanted to know what advices did you wish to hear when you started your journey in entrepreneurship? I know that we've already had some different answers from different speakers, but what would be an advices that you wish you had known at the start?
Robert, would you like to go?
Spreadsheets are the key. Like business modeling, it's a model, but it can be done. And it's important that you have at least some. As it will never be perfect. It will never be perfect, but you can chase the data until they tell you, okay, this is viable or this is not worth your time. But I don't know. I feel that I have survived so many things. I can't even remember how it was at the beginning. Um, yeah, but I think and a second is like it takes time. I'm also an impatient person, but on one hand, on another, I'm very patient. But it takes time. It will if it doesn't work out the first time, the second time, or the third time, and you still have energy to try, and you believe in the idea, go for the fourth time. You will learn from each and every try.
I would also like to
Awesome. Thank
add.
you very much.
Can I also add, because I've been an entrepreneur as well earlier, and I would say that, and even now, kind of in the making, but I would say that you just need to start also. Please don't be like, even like Robert said, that you don't need to worry like if it's perfect or not. And network, build your network so that you can connect with the right kind of people. And even if they're not the right kind of people, they will tell they will give you some feedback. So this is really important, I think, building your network as well.
All right. Since you mentioned networking,
Yes.
which one is more interesting to network? Is it better to network online or in person?
Oh. I think make a balance, create a balance. Like, I would say in person, of course, is the best. But social media can also help you find your community. But I would still say like face to face is much, much more powerful. But I've seen like online also you do kind of genuine people, you are able to connect. But I will still feel like 60% offline, 40% online.
Okay, thank you. And last question. Is it better to work alone or in a group when it comes to starting your journey in entrepreneurship?
Please.
It depends. It depends on how there are people who feel fine in groups and there are people who feel fine alone. Um, so you need to know yourself, but the hard truth even I had to learn is you cannot do anything alone. Like other people are the multipliers of your skills, capacities, etc., etc. So eventually, at some point, and usually the sooner the better, but you will you have to and slash want to include other people. So yeah, I don't want to say the more the merrier, but I don't think much can be done as a one person, and it's a very like it's a mythical thing from the US, how this one person doing everything and achieving everything. It's not the reality.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your answers and for this very inspiring webinar. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for, participating and with so much energy. And all right, before we close, one last question in the chat. I think we already had so many questions, but you still like to add what is one small action you would take after today. So if you would like to add that, you can add it in the chat. And again, thank you so much to all the speakers. Where is the slide? One second. Share your thoughts. And I just wanted to say that you will receive a participation certificate. And we have a short survey. If you could take a couple of minutes, because we have only 5 minutes before we end. So if you could take like a couple of minutes to also fill the survey, that would be great. And maybe before we all leave, we can switch on the cameras and say hello. That is a great way to end also. So maybe we could do that before we all end. And that would happen after you fill the satisfaction survey. You can also find the link of the survey in the chat.
So your feedback is also really helping us shaping the next webinar that will be at the very end of this year or the beginning of next year. Follow the Uliseos website for more information.
Nadia, maybe you can also help people, because in the questionnaire there's a question, who is hosting this event?
Ah, yes, of course. It's the University of Münster that is hosting this event. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, I think this is confusing because we are a team with all the partners and everyone was so involved. So it feels like, and it really was, that all of us shaped this webinar. But in this survey, yes, please use the University of Münster in that questionnaire. Thanks for pointing that out. You will also receive a follow-up email from us that includes this satisfaction survey, and we really appreciate your input here and your feedback. It's taking just 2 to 3 minutes. It's completely anonymous, so we would really be happy if you could take those short minutes to share your feedback with us. And you also will receive a short participation certificate that you can add to your profiles wherever you would like to. You could print it out, show in a room, for example. We will also share a short guide with you with all the key contact points within the Uliseos network that could support your entrepreneurial journey. And if our speakers are fine with that, we would also share their LinkedIn accounts or contact points. So yeah, if you have some more questions for your very own pathway, get in contact, get linked in. And we are so happy that you joined today.
I think they will also have access to the recording, right?
Ah, good that you say that. Yes, of course, you will also have access to the recording. It will be available on the Uliseos website as well, so you can watch it again afterwards, share it with colleagues, whatever you would like to do, it will be possible. And if you have any questions, you can always contact us via the Odysseus email that was also included in the registration platform, I guess, right? So feel free to get in contact. We're so happy that so many of you joined today. Thanks for this really lively discussion and interaction. That was great. Also, a huge thanks and shout out to our speakers. We really made that webinar be that special.
Yes.
And I will hand over to Namrata for the final words.
Well, I just want to thank you all. Thank you so much for such an amazing session. Thank you to the speakers for your lovely comments, for participating in Miro. This really gives us a lot of energy. If you have, I would say, any specific topics that you think that we should cover, let us know. We would be very happy to get your feedback as well. And connect with us also on LinkedIn. And we would be so, so happy to support. I think all the universities over here and my colleagues, we just really want to support the students. And if you have any questions regarding any about entrepreneurship, diversity, inclusion, intersectionality, whichever topic you came across, please let us know. We would be really happy to help. So thank you a lot. Thanks a lot. We ended on time, just 1 minute over, but yay.
Thank you
And
so much.
thank you and have a lovely evening.
Thank you and great timing. Have a nice evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.